hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the wonderful fans of entertainment out there worldwide.
Yes.
I'm Jason Crossman, Director Dude.
I'm Cam Cornelius, the voiceover dude.
You forgot awesome voiceover dude.
Okay, awesome voiceover dude. You forgot awesome director dude.
Well, I'm working on it.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to go behind the scenes of Star Wars Celebration to get a look at the Star Wars pop-up museum that they created to showcase all of the incredible, I guess, robots and animatronics and costumes they created to make our favorite series.
Wow, I didn't understand exactly what you said because it came in on robots, but hey, we'll figure it out right now on Entertainment Dudes.
From Los Angeles and Nashville, get ready to go behind the scenes with Entertainment Dudes. What happens when you pair a director, a voice actor, in a world, and some of the most interesting people in entertainment? You're about to find out.
Are you going to find out?
You are going to find out.
You are. Yes, you're going to find out right now.
Yes, and we're still very much rolling. So, I had a chance last weekend to go to Star Wars Celebration. For those of you who don't know, it's a... Yes, I know. There was a quick pop-up you did, by the way. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration is held once a year. It's generally a 4-day show. You can do 1 day, you can do 2, 3, 4. And in this case, we got passes to do 4 full days. 4 days. Also, this coming... next year's celebration is going to be in London. So if you do want to go to a Star Wars Celebration...
Tally-ho!
Yes, you have to get your tickets very early.
I used to shoot womp rats in my T-16 back home. No. Would you like some tea? No.
That's only if Luke was English, British.
if he was British. Or it could be...
So glad.
They're really bad, you know. I used to shoot womp rats in my T-16 back home.
Nope, that wouldn't work either.
Wouldn't...
Next, swipe right. Swipe right. I mean, we should create an app that enables people to cast.
You're my
and they
father.
You can just swipe right and cast somebody that way. Like, bad for the role, bad for the role. That's a potential. Potential. So, as part of Star Wars Celebration, they also, Disney took all of the props and costumes that I know you saw the piece of it, and they created essentially a pop-up museum where you can check out all the really awesome animatronics and the outfits and the ships and everything that are actually they use in the show. I had the extreme pleasure of going around with Tom Howard. He actually works on the set of Mandalorian, and he's the one that wires all of the LED and the lightsabers and then all the cockpits. And if you know binary, I think I mentioned this binary code. If you look in the Razor Crest and some of those lights, they actually flash messages and stuff. So, in this case, we got to go around and hear some of the stories behind the scenes of what was going on when they were working in specific scenes and stuff, which was really great. And he got us in there ahead of a huge line, and we were super grateful. So anyways, we got some of those videos here today. You saw glimpses of them last time. We're just going to pull them up, and I'm going to go through it real quick and talk about some of the things that we saw and maybe some of the stories that are behind it.
Oh, yeah. So what we got first?
I think we're going to check out right here. We have, this here is, Razor Crest. All you guys saw the Razor Crest if you've been watching. This is from Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2. For those of you who don't know what had happened yet, maybe I'm not going to spoil it from you. But anyways, the ship, they have an inside. This is just a cockpit that they built. And then they also have the outside of the ship that they use. So whenever they cut to a wide shot and he's coming down the ramp, they have a hull of a ship that you get to walk up into to go inside. There's also a downstairs component where all of the Carbonite guys frozen in Carbonite are, and where Baby Yoda would sleep. They didn't have that there. They had the cockpit here. So this is Din Djarin in his cockpit. This is all the lighting. They had everything rigged up. It's the same as they used on set. And this is just his outfit, his uniform that they had there. But basically...
You mean Pedro Pascal's not sitting
No, he's not just sitting there watching people go by.
Waiting. Okay, I didn't know.
For photo ops. Yeah, it was very nice of him. He's like, I don't know if I'll be on set, but I will. I will sit inside the cockpit and just stay there.
Stay there. Very still for Star Wars Celebration. I'll do it for that.
He was so kind, very
That's
kind
nice.
of him. Yeah. So yeah, like all of these lighting, it's all done individually, and so these are all of these wires run to a central control system, and each one of them is on a number key, and they can they group certain sets of them together, and they have control over the whole part. Sometimes he was saying that sometimes they'd be shooting against din, and some of the lights in the background would be flashing too much. They look great on a wide, but for a close up, it's distracting when the lights are behind there. So they'll shift or change the lights, like some of some of the lights is accordingly to not be as distracting.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that we thought that was really cool, getting a chance to be that close to it, actually seeing inside the beautiful Razor Crest, all the detail that goes into it, and the time that they take to put it all together. Really, nothing is without thought, which is I always like those kind of universes. Where every single thing has attention to detail, whether it's Lord of the Rings, whether it's this, Star Trek, they're always thinking about how every single, even a light bulb, down to one light bulb, like when is this light bulb used? Would they use this light bulb? How frequent would, everything has this thought into it. So that was pretty cool getting a chance to see that. So as you can tell, there's somebody else in my video,
So cool.
Rude. But yeah, that was really cool to see.
Rude.
Now, something I really liked, if you are a fan of the original episode 1, 2, and 3, when you see baby Anakin riding inside a Naboo Starfighter.
Naboo Starfighter.
Yes, for those of them who saw it, who were there, they know what I'm talking about. But for anyone who didn't get a chance to go there, they had the full-size Din Djarin's full-size, Naboo Starfighter there. Look at that thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people that were taking pictures with this. Baby Yoda up in the top there, if you can see him behind where Din Djarin is sitting there. He was animatronic.
He's got oxygen.
He has oxygen,
Okay.
Thankfully. It's pumping through there. They give him a high quality, 99% pure oxygen. So he's
egg snacks and stuff like
frog
that.
egg snacks. He has a dispenser. He has a little dispenser inside. So
macaroons and
yeah,
all
this
that.
is is all metal, solid metal.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, solid metal. It's
wow.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like when you get up front to it, it's so beautiful. They even the paintings, like if you look at the afterburners here, they run like this kind of purplish paint to give it a hue on the metal that makes it look like it's been afterburners have actually been burning for a while.
Wow.
Right here to the left of Din Djarin, where he gets up, there's some steps right there. Well, there was a place where his foot kept getting stuck whenever he'd get up into there. So they actually added a metal block in there that he could set his foot on so it wouldn't get stuck whenever he was climbing inside of this thing.
Wow.
So I thought, that was pretty cool. So full size.
That is amazing.
Took up most, of course, it was the centerpiece of the entire thing. Which I really thought was awesome. Now, also poor Star Wars, poor Banthas. Poor Banthas. These guys here, if you know Star Wars, you know what this is. Banthas are like, the desert dwelling cows or camels of Tatooine.
The sand people ride them all the time.
This one's animatronic, fully animatronic. It has I think 4 or 5 people that operate it. They also brought it down the road. Tom has a picture of it where it's on the back of a truck and you can see the Bantha riding down. It was riding down the I-5 or whatever on the way to the convention, and the giant Bantha. I think that's absolutely hilarious.
Gosh.
So, yeah, and I think how they pulled all the pieces together. I really like what they did with Book of Boba, the Sand People. I never really thought anything about them other than I wanted them all to die. And then they actually really gave some compassion towards some of these characters, and they just don't all just shoot people in the desert for no reason. But
there were different tribes of them, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah,
and so they brought a little bit of lore to it, and I was kind of disappointed that they disappeared. I understand partially for story reason. They're like, hey, he needs to have the absence of his family that he really found. But at the same time, I'm like, you built these awesome characters and that's it. Like the entire, none of them survived to help fight. So I was like, because they spent so much time building such an awesome character, especially the girl character. I thought she was phenomenal. So yeah, it was animatronic, and it would talk. Like he would just go, "Bleh," like you would talk to him, and he'd look at you, and he'd make all these hilarious noises. These hilarious noises. Yeah, make all these crazy noises. Yeah, so that was pretty exciting getting a chance to check out that. I mean, I wish you
Wow.
could see the inside of it. They had his head there, kind of like a part, like
Right.
pieces of it, so you could see the animatronics inside of it. It's
I think they have an inside of a hammerhead species at one point, so I think that is in the video somewhere.
oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
I
That's
think so.
probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. No Krait Dragon though.
There was Krait Dragon bones.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if they made it into the video or not. But
no.
we shall see.
All right.
So, anytime, like I said in the first video, there's a difference, for costuming is something
Yeah.
that you're using. You have costumes that you need to operate in the foreground. Those are ones that have to be the most believable up on camera. The eyes have to move, mouths, it has to be more convincing. This particular Quarren, I think he is in the, they were in the background. So they don't have to have as much. They don't have to have mobility in the mouth. They don't have to have
Right.
any of those things. But they still do put a lot of detail in it in case the director wants to swing the camera around that guy's on camera. They need to make sure they're ready. This sweater, I think, was JC Penney or something like this. The blue sweater everyone saw, like, what the heck? And that was one of my favorite episodes, I think, in the water world one in
that was cool.
Mandalorian. Oh, it's amazing with Sackhoff was in there. That was incredible. So that's what some of these look like. So a lot of this is different types of stuff. There's latex. There's, they have EV foam. They have a lot of different types of things that they're using. I think these are probably latex. And then just putting clothing on them to make it look authentic and feel like Star Wars. And it's interesting because I thought for me, Boba's set, the outfits didn't feel like they didn't fit in the Star Wars for me. When you're looking at them, if I notice them and they take them, it takes me out of the show,
Right.
or out of the atmosphere, then I think to me those outfits are miss, right? Even
Yeah.
though they're cool looking, they still miss.
Kind of like those 50s type speeder bikes that the gang had.
Yeah, to me
Yeah.
they were really cool looking speeder bikes,
Right.
but it takes me out of it as much as like, hey, we want to break something different into the universe. I'm like,
Right.
it's so different that it pulls you out of it. Plus, it's like in that world, it's not clean at all. Star Wars is sort of like
Dirty
a rundown,
and-
dirty
rundown
world,
and-
and so I think those choices that go into deciding what you want to do when you're doing a story are very important. So some of these characters, I think in this particular scene, I noticed the clothing. So, for example, his sweatshirt, I noticed. I'm like, why is a modern sweatshirt on this guy? But for me, after a while, it fit the world. It wasn't something that
Right.
really took me out of it too much that I couldn't, I wasn't ready, And the rest of the outfits just fit this world that we hadn't been to. So it was pretty cool seeing that designed.
Calamari.
Yeah, so the Mon Calamari here. Yeah, I love them just with their big
Yeah.
eyes and stuff. They're just so cool looking.
Love
This
it.
guy, you saw him on there. He's the one that was waving the ship to get down.
Yep.
Everybody can remember him if you saw that episode. So memorable characters. Oftentimes, the wardrobe plays a huge part of that memorable character.
Well, the
Jack-
sweater's hilarious, though.
Isn't it really
Mon
funny?
It's just funny.
on a Mon Calamari
Yes.
wearing this sweater. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's like a Jack Sparrow, It's like a character like this whose outfit is so important and so classic and iconic
Right.
that they become like they're a part of the lore and the legend. So
great.
Mon Calamari in a blue sweater was like, somebody yesed this. Like, yes, do
Yes.
this. It was awesome. I like somebody had that idea and they're like, what about a blue sweater? Like, we could really try a blue sweater on this guy.
Yeah. Aha.
One of my favorite. I love this character.
Yes.
Was great. The character who played this frog lady also did Quarren from season 1 of Mandalorian, the pig guy, and so it's the same person, and they're incredible at making this action happen inside of a suit and giving it
Yeah.
so much personality. So there's the details up close of what that thing looked like. It's so photorealistic. It just kind of looks like she's super worried. She was worried the whole time. They had several different types of eggs for the tank that they had. One of them was just a still picture of some eggs in the background with LED lights in it, which is what's here. Then they also had a functioning one which had balls inside of it, eggs inside of a type of sauce. So they did have several different types of tanks, depending upon what the scene was, what was going on inside the scene. These boxes right here, They appear all throughout Star Wars, tons and tons of them. There's a company here in LA that the guy bought a bunch of old NASA rockets, all the interfaces, and a lot of their boxes that they use to house up in space. A lot of those things end up in Star Wars. That's where a lot of them come from. So almost half or more of the boxes that they use in there come from from NASA's spaceship and from old parts of NASA that aren't being used anymore. That includes all the pipes, a lot of the different pieces that they get. They've got tons of those. They just break apart those rockets and they rebuild them into something unique.
Ah, the Pram.
The Pram.
Yes.
Man, the cutest freaking thing ever when you're like, what is he after? And then this thing opens up and inside it was Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that was
a little...
Excuse me.
John Favreau posted this a long time ago. It's a little ornament.
Oh, let's see. You got a bigger size yourself.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
There we go.
Biggie. There we
You're
go.
already bigified. Oh.
Yeah, see, it's a little Baby Yoda ornament. You just make it out of paper. Printed it out.
Like, how is it that you have this? Why am I not surprised? That's hilarious.
You just fold it, and yeah. It was supposed to be an ornament, but I just put it on my desk, just kind of
just comforting.
Just comforting. Little Baby Yoda time.
Just to be there for you.
Baby Yoda time.
It's Baby Yoda time. So yeah, you can see kind of clearly here. This is just dropped in there, and it's still how they're not moving like that.
Right.
And the gel in the front, it's pretty convincing. So
it's cool.
yes, sir. So the Carbonite. This is the guy who was actually the creator of who's the I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I apologize. He did all the design for that.
Oh,
so
okay.
he made himself. That's actually him.
That's hilarious. Way to make yourself canon, dude.
Yeah, he made himself canon. He's like, I will freeze myself in Carbonite. I got to remember his name. I apologize. I don't know. I'm having this brain fart. And so those were hanging in the back of Din Djarin's ship. And they're really heavy. I tried to steal one of them. And I couldn't get very far. Yeah.
And then the door opened up, and there was Jabba and the whole team laughing, watching you try to free the Carbonite person. Yeah.
Yeah, steal him. So bottom half here, clearly, the top half robot, bottom half a man in the costume, and then these gray pants will be replaced. So these circles and stuff on the legs, those are actually for tracking. So they can do motion tracking. Normally that tracking is they'll actually do a live track during the middle of the scene. So while that guy's moving around, those things will be tracked from balls that are in like a 360 display around him. So they can actually even do that in camera. They can do sometimes motion track, and then they can track whatever, even if it's just rough, they can track the legs on to make sure that it's working. Cool. Yeah, to make sure that it's working in the scene. So even though the robot on top is robot, the legs, nope. They're probably, because they drop really thin. They're thinner than a human's legs can be. So, yeah, these are his prop guns and stuff. So when you look at them, the detail is just so ridiculous. The wood, the metal, how they put it all together, like that's his entire kit. A lot of the painting and artwork that was all over the walls there was done by them. Whether it was done by a lot of the guys, I think maybe three or four of them, including Favreau. They have a lot of these different paintings, and they look really, really beautiful.
This is like the concept art?
Concept art. And they're massive. So look at those.
Oh, yeah. Juan Carlo? Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a little crooked there for you. You have to look sideways.
Like, that's what you
turn
can see
sideways.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, so... Yeah, the weaponry, that's the Darksaber right there.
Okay.
So the Darksaber has, interestingly enough, whenever you're making, I was talking to Tom about this, how do you make them combat ready with the LEDs? Like, how can you smack them against each other and not have it break? Some of the, the lightsabers they got really strong. The LED is in the handle, and the light shoots up the top of the handle. And so if you're smacking the handles together, the sabers together, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect the LED inside.
Right.
The Darksaber had LED strips that go up both sides. So this is a metal piece on one side and a metal piece on the other side that go up, and then the LEDs run up the top, so you can still smack those together because it's metal.
Okay.
And he said a lot of them break. You're just fixing it a lot of the times, running a new strip up the cable. A lot of times you've probably seen it in some of the early Star Wars, especially Ben Kenobi when he's fighting. There's a battery in his arm, and the wire runs to the saber. In a couple of shots, you can actually see that in the originals even. And this one, they did the same thing. They have a couple, like with Ahsoka's using or Darksaber, where they'll have to have a battery somewhere on the person because it's got to stay on longer than the battery and the saber will allow. If you ever use the lightsabers themselves, the batteries, they go pretty fast. So they'll have actually batteries that they can just swap out the packs. They run the cable up into it and they can stay on long enough while they're shooting for hours and hours, and it has to stay on. So in this particular Darksaber, you can see that LED on the top, that white line on the top of the black saber, and then there's one on the bottom, and those are LED strips.
Very cool.
Yes, good times.
Neat.
So, yeah, I really love the detail in this stuff. This is so exciting about doing film, and when you're working with the company that has a budget for it. No, to me, I don't know why I see this character, and I always just think
Such a salacious
Muppets.
picture.
I always think Muppets. Like, whenever I see him, it's just, I'm always like, it should be with Gonzo, and he should be sitting there eating Gonzo's eyeballs.
Well, it's the same Genesis, basically.
Yep.
I mean, kind of is a Muppet.
I mean, look at it. If you think about it, it's a Muppet. And this is the one, obviously, the first time we saw it, where it was on Jabba, right? When he was like eating C-3PO's eyeball when he got torn to pieces. Wasn't that one of them?
Yep.
Yeah, details are still there. Same with all the different outfits, you know. So there's wardrobe and costuming. Wardrobe designer designs all the costumes, and then costuming, the wardrobe and costuming are actually dressing the people in the costumes that the wardrobe designers created. They're pulling materials, so they're looking for. We were talking to the costumers and wardrobe, but they're always looking for materials that feel worn and old. Without them actually necessarily being that way. So they're sourcing materials from all over the world, looking for fabrics that have an older quality to them, and sometimes even trying to find vintage fabrics that are still for sale in different parts of the world. Tunisia, different places in Africa. They're looking in all of Mediterranean, Europe, and some places in the States, especially in Los Angeles, is the whole wardrobe, whole fashion district, which has a lot of materials and fabrics. You have fabric places like Mood Fabric that are generally bringing in newer fabrics, but then sometimes you do find those older vintage fabrics, but you're generally going to find, you're generally going to find them not in the stateside. So they're always looking for something to try to help tell the story and really convince us that it's in that place, and not looking too new. This little, you see that little guy? It looks terrible. It looks like he's skewered right now, but the puppets run that. So that little guy that comes out there, that little squirrel, there's like 2 or 3 puppeteers that puppet this little squirrel guy.
That's great.
Yeah, and so those little sticks that are sticking in his back, he's got one in his legs, one in each arm, and then one for his main system. So you've got a couple of people that operate that little squirrel simultaneously. And of course, yes, IG-10, what is it? Or
IG-88?
IG-88. Yeah, I mean, I like that character. He was so cool. And
I love the Astromech with the legs and arms.
Yeah, he was really tall too, very tall. Like even the live one was almost 7.5 feet or 8 feet. He was so tall. And in the back there, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting him to be that big. But that idea was fantastic, that he's there down in the lava and he's the one doing all this stuff, but he has extremely long legs.
And it feels so Star Wars, too. It's like, okay, let's salvage this, our unit, Astromech unit, and let's put some legs on him and repurpose them. Yeah.
Yeah. So even though we hadn't seen one like that before, I think it fits in that world because, like you said, it literally looks like they just took parts of robots apart and then made something that they needed. But there's nothing like that stands out about it too much, Yeah, it's so cool. Right. So, I really like that. And then they had, this is from the newer one, so this is from Book of Boba. Again, it's just highlighting the materials and the level of detail that they went into. I liked his character. It fit. This one to me fit too, even though it's like newer, flashier. It still has that Star Wars feel to it, even the materials, the way that they pulled them all together. And that character is really interesting too, you know. And he was also in that space. It fits. These dudes were creepy, man. They were creepy. Yeah, that was a really cool scene too. There's the Krait Dragon. This is the model. Dragon. This is the model that they used of the Krait Dragon. And it was still a pretty big scaled model, but it obviously wasn't the size of a Krait Dragon.
I love finally being able to see a Krait Dragon because, you know, that's the iconic shot in the original Star Wars when they're going through the desert and you see this big, long skeleton.
And you're like, what is that?
No idea what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And look at the detail. Like, I'm really close to that thing, and you could see, there she is. This character was awesome. Wish you could have seen more of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really brought they weathered the tar out of this thing. Like even the material is like all the different paintings, the types of ways that they're weathering it, the stuff that they apply to it. It literally feels like it's been out in the heat and sun and sand scorch and wind blown, and frayed on the ends, but it still has to hold together and still be functional in the production. So it's a fine balance between too much weathering so it's not functional and not enough so that it doesn't look worn and real.
Right.
Get out of there. Someone in my shot ticks me off. And they know who we are. We are entertainment dudes.
Ooh, that is not Harmony.
Okay. No. So this right here, this is Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Yeah, and so they had a number of different. Look at the prosthetics that had to go into Cad Bane. So he has a hood essentially attaches to the back of his head right there, and that's where the eye sockets mount so that pieces can attach to it. So you have to have a frame in order to attach all the different pieces to that frame. And so there's the face in the foreground, his head cap on the background. These are the eyes that they use, and they go into these little sockets, and then even the teeth, how the teeth go in, and then finally the chin, and then the strap that holds it all together on the outside. Wow. And I love seeing that. That was so bad. Look at that.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, eh? Look at the back of that. So cool. And it does, and it looked like it just...
Right. And that version, I don't care that some people were like, you didn't make him look exactly like, but it's like, oh my gosh, it was so scary. I mean, it was really
so
creepy looking. It was so good.
Yeah, and that first time when he's like, his head's like this.
Yes.
He's just looking like that, and it's like, oh my gosh. Chilling. You're like, everyone's going to die. Cad Bane's here. And I absolutely love the character, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen in Mandalorian.
Right.
I was glad. So they brought Katie Sackhoff played her character in the
animated
animated series in Rebels, right? And I think she wasn't she in the last episode? I mean 7. Anyways, in Clone Wars. And then they brought her back, and she actually got to play the character as a live action version of herself. So that was awesome seeing her.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So this is the mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah, the mayor.
It's the hammerhead species, yep.
Hammerhead. And look at that. It still goes on top of his body. So right here is a body suit on the bottom. That gets strapped onto the person. Everything else over the top is just animatronic head. So the guy's head is still in there, and he's got to be able to see and move. And then then there's animatronics that run the rest of it. Eyeballs, mouth, everything. The skin goes over that, all the folds of it. So there's still someone underneath there that is wearing this craziness.
And you thought holding a steady cam was hard.
Yeah, try holding that on your head all day long. Look at that.
Look at that. Wow.
That's how much wiring goes into all the different components, because even how the lungs, like remember the gills on the side, he's breathing and he's talking right here out of the side of his mouth, and then his eyeballs are blinking, and they each twitch independently, and then his whole head has to move.
Yeah.
On top of and the whole time the actor has to make it look like he's not wearing a 500-pound rig on top of his head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
So amazing.
These are the Pykes.
Pykes, yes.
They
Pykes
they are animatronic as well, just as much as the eyes and things happen. So the mask goes over the top of the face. The rest of it is done in makeup and prosthetics, and the servos and everything still run those parts of his face and things that are too alien for humans to replicate. They're right there. Look at those guys when they were done. Even those outfits, they're just like, they're so wonderful.
The stitching and the embroidery and yeah. Wow.
All the different components and pieces of it that went into that thing.
Love it.
Yeah, there he is. That's him on the throne. So after it's finished, that's what it looks like.
So the head's actually in the, right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so his head's literally right there, chest height, where that little black spot is underneath there.
Uh-huh.
And everything else is animatronic. Which is just incredible. The skin and the detail, the painting, how they weather everything, plus his outfit, material. It's just really, really incredible.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, who are the real heroes of the film industry? The people that make that stuff work. Like, how?
Exactly.
I don't know. I can tell a story all day long, but man, if I tried to do that, you would just be like, what is this garbage?
Cobb's uniform?
Well, yes, it was either that or it was Star-Lord. I wasn't sure, but...
Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, you're right. It could be.
No, it's Cobb. Yeah, these were cool. The speeder bikes were actually there, the ones that they used on set. So this is his speeder bike. And I like that they made... Yeah, here's those guys, the Rough Rider sort of fellas.
Yep.
And then they made their bikes all beat up and dirt, but they still look really cool. Like I really wanted those to be real.
Like this exploded like right before the show, so I don't have the whole the other parts are there, but I've
let's
got
see
the
biggest
original.
size.
Yeah, this that's the top part of the speeder bike, and I've got the rest, but it went behind the table. This had a button on it that when you push it, it explodes. Just happened
I
to
remember
explode.
that
Remember
because
that?
they always ran into the trees.
So I've got a little Smurf guy that I put on it, and he rides along.
Because why not?
Because why not? Because, I can, mesh worlds together, just like you wanted to put Star-Lord in Star Wars.
Yeah, and why not Smurfs as well?
Yeah. Smurf Wars. So anyway.
Smurf Wars. Yeah, these were great. So those are the speeder bikes that were there. They were full size. They were huge. Like, I think if anything was going to be rideable, I think that would have been awesome. Yeah, that's the whole canon they set. The spikes that you see in the very beginning, that really set the tone for
Stormtroopers.
Really set the tone for Mando when he first rolled into that town and those spikes are there, and it's just like, okay, okay, we see, I see you. And this is the last stuff that you got to see in Book of Boba. Now, this is pretty funny. His wig, that they actually really has long hair and stuff, and so that's what he looks like when he wears it. So they added the hair to this mannequin because he's got such long hair. And so that's what's happened. He's animated. Look at his legs animate the bottoms, his knees, even on the robot's knees, the hands, and everything that goes into.
I think I remember them saying that they did a similar setup on C-3PO when he wasn't fully built on the prequels. And Anthony Daniels had an entire new suit he had to wear, and he was behind the C-3PO that didn't have the panels on him yet.
Really?
Anthony Daniels was in a similar
ones, when he was broken.
When young Anakin had made him, but he didn't have the gold panels on him yet.
I mean, how crazy is it that they had to paint this guy out and all of these?
That's crazy. Yes.
All of these different metal pieces, they got to paint it out and still make it look good. I didn't notice. This guy I loved in the kitchen at the Jabba's palace.
Yep.
I seen him in the cartoons, but I think that was the first live action version of him that they created. This one looked like a KitchenAid. If KitchenAid made appliance robots for Star Wars, this would be the KitchenAid version.
Be the KitchenAid, yes,
of that character.
And that's the
there's the Tauntaun's head.
The head of the Tauntaun,
yeah.
Right in the back.
Oh, let's see if I can see him again real quick. There's the little guy, yep. And the Tauntaun head's right there, right behind it. Yeah, that's one that was up on the wall.
That's
It's like
great
someone
right
had
there.
gone hunting and they brought the tauntaun. Maybe they
Love it.
ate tauntaun, a little bit of tauntaun, and then Fennec Shan.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Yeah, this is great. Her outfit was so
Fennec,
cool.
yeah, that was,
and they had
that
to
was
make it.
amazing outfit.
They had to make it movable so she could do a lot of her tricks and stunts at the same time. You know, still feel like something you hadn't seen before.
Right.
Out of that space. So
Cool.
that was pretty cool. So yeah, it was really, really great look. They did a fantastic job. I think in this particular case, yes, they make a fortune on that event, but they didn't have to bring all that stuff. And everything was wired, the sounds, atmosphere, music. It was really, really exciting to see all of those pieces together. And really a rare treat if you like Star Wars and you like a glimpse at the behind the scenes of what goes on there. So I think that was it for the tour for Star Wars Celebration and for what I saw there.
That's great, but so much like behind the scenes information. That's so cool to find out a lot about that and see what actually goes into it. That's great.
Yeah, very fun.
Visual reference, yeah.
Yep. I think hopefully on coming up on the next couple of shows, we'll see what happens. We might be able to get one of the costumers to come and give us a little bit more detail about some of the actual wardrobes and outfits of some of the shows and before, past, and now. Get a little sneak peek of that. Coming up soon, I'm headed out your way, it seems like, and we might be able to get a little show on the road.
Maybe. That would be fun.
Stay tuned for some exciting entertainment dudes. We're looking forward to sharing.
But, hey, while we're at it, let's not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. And press that notification bell. And also, what else? Merch.
What are you wearing? You got a black one now. Yes. I wonder if you could get one with just the guy on the right side of your chest there, me, and maybe a black space. Just a black space.
You mean like that? Right. Yeah,
that's extra. You have to pay extra.
That's great.
That's entertainment due.
Yes, dudes.
No, just do. Entertainment.
Dude, entertainment dude. Right
no,
there.
just do.
Oh, do?
Yeah.
Entertainment dude. Like Mountain Dew.
Entertainment dude. Hey, we might have a new drink for entertainment dudes.
Entertainment do.
Do the do entertainment do.
Folks, thanks for joining us. Coming up next week, some more great stuff and some great guests we can't tell you about yet lined up. So we're really excited. But yeah, we got some we got some stunt pilots for Hollywood and some other things, animated character voices, and all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say bye. This has been Entertainment Dudes, and we're just going to sit here and make funny faces while some videos pop up on the screen that you should go check out next. Also, the little circle in the middle, that means you need to hit that and subscribe. Anyway, thank you for watching Entertainment Dudes. I'll just sit here and make some faces for a while.
My face is hurting.
It's hurting?
It's killing me.
All right, sure, you'll do it.
Okay.